lasso guard is a really powerful position, and it's hard to pass, especially if folks don't have a lot of experience passing the lasso. They'll often do the wrong thing, and we can react in a way that gives us a sweep pretty easily. But we're going to talk about lasso maintenance, making sure you have a strong lasso and defeating their attempts to pass, and then we'll show a simple sweep at the end. So one thing that I want to define quickly about how we get the lasso. There are deep lassos and shallow lassos. I'm going to show my favorite style of lasso here, where I get 2 hands in the sleeve, bring my leg over, and get my instep right in his armpit. Now, Jesse's main defense to the lasso that's early is to circle this hand out, right? If he does that, I don't really have a lasso anymore, we're still fighting. That's why for me, it's very important that I reorient my hips with my belt knot pointed to the ceiling, do a little butterfly stretch with my knees, and turn my palm to the ceiling like Spider-Man shooting a web. So that way if Jesse tries to circle out, it's really, really difficult, and I can control inside space from here. Now there are a lot of sweeps we can hit from here, but we're not going to get into those in the beginning. I just want folks to understand that as long as we have a strong lasso, it's going to be extremely difficult, almost impossible for him to pass. So what folks that are not experienced passing the lasso don't understand is they think they should pass this way away from the lasso because this is trapped. But that's the opposite of true, because I've trapped this post here. A lot of times you can sweep him here really easily, but nevertheless, they're gonna do this a lot. But just to show how to maintain and recover the lasso, I'm gonna do something I would never do in an actual grapple, which is I'm gonna let him just clear this leg. I'm gonna let him stuff my knee entirely out of the way so I don't have this leg at all. And now Jesse's gonna grab my head and he's gonna squeeze me. You can hear it, like Jesse's bigger than me and he's squeezing, right? All I'm gonna do is extend my leg out, push his hip, get my knee back in front. If he can't clear the lasso, it's extremely difficult for him to secure the pass. Now, obviously, in a grapple, whether it's in the gym or in competition, you're never going to just let him get rid of your defensive structure and let him squeeze your face as hard as he can. But I just want you to let you know, even in those instances, if you have a strong lasso, you can still extend your leg out, get your knee back in front, and defeat that pass. So one thing I will do to set up the simple lasso sweep and to bait him into going that way is make my shin his belt. And so you can sort of see that my hook is on the inside of his hip and my shin makes sort of a belt line hook across his midsection. What I'm trying to bait him to do is think that if he does push this leg out of the way, that he can pass. When we do that, I'm gonna come here, underhook the leg with my palm facing up like a waiter carrying a tray, and then all I'm gonna do is elevate, lift, and sweep. Most of the time, I'll be able to come right up to the knee on belly here. If slicers are legal, there is a bicep slicer here. But typically what I'll do is just let go, come to the knee on belly position for the sweep. This is the basic lasso sweep that takes advantage of the fact that the lasso traps his post. He doesn't have a free hand that way, so I can just sweep him that way. And if I can load his weight onto that leg, it's really easy to sweep. It's actually even easier if he stands. So I'm gonna get two hands in the sleeves, hip out, instep into his armpit, turn my pelvis to the ceiling, turn my palm to the ceiling. Now, of course, there are other things we can do for it. We'll go over triangles and omoplatas from here in other videos, which are really potent attacks from the lasso. But the classic sweep, I'm just gonna try and bait it. If he's already trying to shove this out of the way, even better, right? So if Jesse comes, I can just underhook, right? If he stands, it's actually even easier because his center of gravity is higher, makes the rollover much simpler. What if, though, like a lot of times, guys, even if they make a mistake, will realize they made a mistake and they'll try to root themselves to the ground. But we can still sweep in this situation. So, two grips in the sleeve, hips come out. However you set up the lasso, we get here. So let's say I do this, and Jesse immediately is like, wait, you hit me with that last week. I'm not gonna do this, right? And so I can't underhook his leg, his center of gravity is nice and low. This hand is gonna come, not for this leg, but for the other leg. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the pant leg. Because I have this arm trapped and this post is trapped, all I wanna do is grab the other post, which is if Jesse, if Jesse stands up, you can see I just grip his pant leg. Right? So now back to his knees. Now I have 2 feet trapped on this, or 2 posts trapped on the same side. I just load his weight onto me, roll. And now if Jesse tries to get back up, it's not possible. When I'm ready, I either bicep slice if that's legal, post, come to the knee on belly position. So you'll hear that just called the lasso guard sweep, because it's the first lasso guard sweep typically that people go for successfully. You can get it if people make the mistake of trying to stuff and pass, but if people then root to the ground, all you're gonna do, if you have this arm lassoed, you're gonna grab this pant leg too. Because even if Jesse were to, don't do this, but if Jesse were to just shove me over, I would go over there. So I really think that the lasso is one of the first open guards that newer folks should start playing around with, because it's kind of an open closed guard that attaches you to them. So get a good lasso, have confidence in it, know that even if they seem like they're passing, we can usually still recover and take advantage of them going the wrong way to sweep them the other way.